Hey guys, this video is a continuation of the one we did previously on Async API. So in the previous video, what we did was we used Async API, MongoDB Async API, and used that to connect it to our MongoDB cluster that we had. In this video, we're gonna take it one step further, and we're gonna create three more functions. Those three functions, the first one will be adding a user. So we created a database, my first database, and inside it we created a collection called users. So we're gonna add a document or perhaps user in our users collection. Then we're gonna search for the user, so that's gonna be our second function, and our third function is gonna be removing that user. So first thing we want to do is define a structure for the user that we're gonna insert into our database. So you may recall we created a collection called users. Inside of it, we're gonna store users, right? But what will that user have? What will it look like? Well, it's gonna be a JSON document, right? JSON document. So for first, we're gonna just define a structure for that document. So we're gonna have a document or structure called user. Inside we're gonna have two fields: name, which is gonna be of type string, password, which is also gonna be of type string. Okay, so once that's done, we're also gonna define some macros. So first thing we want to do, derive, is have debug trait, so it allows us to print, have a serialized, and also this will allow us to convert this object into a JSON format or a document that the MongoDB accepts, and also convert it back into the structure. So actually we also need to import it, so we'll go ahead and use and serialize. There we go, and that should be good. We'll just we probably need to put here we're just gonna have 1.0.126. this is once again it's from cargo. So if you go here, crates.io, sorry, that's what I meant to say. If you go crates.io and search right here, so actually we'll just use the latest version. There you go. And then we'll go ahead and we might want to go back, and I'm gonna go ahead and cargo build it. So while it's doing that, we can go ahead and start writing our function for main. Sorry, not main, but for adding user. So how are we gonna add a user? Well, it's gonna be async function, right? Because we're gonna be using async library. So async function add user, and then collection. So we're gonna pass in a collection handler, which is gonna be of type MongoDB collection, and collection is gonna be in a user structure, and we're gonna pass MongoDB error result, kind of like what we did for main function. And now we're just gonna insert, so we're gonna say insert one. If you're wondering where I got this method from, so if you go to their documentation and go to the structure MongoDB collection, because that's what this call is, and then we go here, and then if you go scroll down, we'll see insert one, and insert one inserts doc into the collection, which is exactly what we need. So we're gonna go ahead and insert one. What are we gonna insert? Well, we're gonna insert a new user. So this structure right here, we're gonna name, we're gonna say Dave, right? And then which is actually gonna be to string, to convert it to string. And then we're going to pass in the password, which is going to be super encrypted crypto password, crypto.toString. And for options, we're going to say none. And this is async function, or sorry, async call. So you could technically continue whatever your executions after, but for our case, we're gonna wait for this call to be completed. So we're just gonna add a wait, and then once it inserts, then we're just gonna print lines saying that, hey, this added successfully. Right, and then of course we need to return, so we'll say okay, and we'll go ahead and cargo run this. Oh, sorry, not to pass on this macro. We also forgot to call it here, so once we do that, we can get rid of this db we need, get rid of this. Right, and then here we can just let call equal db data by collection users. Actually, this is going to be of type this. Okay, and we're going to get rid of this. So essentially what we want to do is, so we have database connects to first database, then we need to create our handler for collection. So we're going to call db.collection, get the collection users into type user. And then we're just going to go ahead and add user. And we're going to just pass in call. And since that is also an async function, we're going to wait for the execution to be finished. Save this, and we're going to run it again. Okay, so it connected successfully, added successfully. So how do we know that it added successfully? Well, to check that out, if we just go back to our database and refresh it, sorry, let's go to users, and we should see Dave, and our password is crypto, which is we added. Actually, I don't want to update it, but if you notice something, we created a collection for users last time, and U was capital. This time we just had a lowercase string, and it ended up creating a new collection instead of using the previous one, which is fine. But so that's what I created, Dave and crypto, which is working perfectly. But now we want to print this out in our program. So we want to read our collection. So to do that, we're gonna create another function called find user, where we're gonna find for Dave. So same thing, we're gonna pass in the exact same parameters and return exact same thing. Right. Let mutable cursor equals to call dot, and what do we need to do? Well, we need to find. What do we need to find? Well, we're gonna find anything where name is equal to Dave. Options are gonna be none again. And once again, this is async, so we're gonna have to wait or perform some other executions, but we don't need to, because right after this we need to wait on cursor anyways, because the next line depends on this. So we're gonna wait, and once we're there, we're just gonna do a while loop similar to what we did in the previous video where we had a cursor and we printed all the collection names. We're gonna do the similar thing here. So we're gonna say while let some user cursor dot try next. Oh wait, so while there's some user in the cursor, keep iterating and keep fetching the user, and then when it fetches the user, we're gonna go ahead and print it. Result, or sorry, user, and then once we're done, we should just return. Okay, there we go. Let's run it once again, and this time, oh, what happened? Macro doc is not. Sorry, I forgot to import. So we're gonna have to go ahead and import bson doc. Once we do that, there you go, connected successfully. Add a, oh, sorry, we should have copy this, paste it here, find user and run it again. Oh, forgot to save this. Connected successfully, and there you go. We have two users, Dave and another user, Dave, and that's because we added two by accident. So if we go back here, we should have two Daves. There you go, two Daves. That's perfect. So that's okay. Now let's go ahead and remove Dave. So how are we gonna do that? Well, we're gonna do the same thing, same method, but here we're just gonna change the inside code. The name's gonna be remove user, and once again we're gonna say let result call, and this time we need to delete, and we'll delete one. So we have two Daves right now. After calling this method, we should only have one. Let's go ahead and do Dave. What are our options? None. Await question mark once again, and then print the result. Then we're gonna do okay. Okay, so now we have this. Let's not make the same mistake we did last time, and this time let's copy this and paste it here. Our name is gonna be remove user, and that should be good. Let's go ahead and run again. Always forget to put the, there you go. It's connected successfully in delete account. So yeah, our guess was correct. It should only delete one because we're using the method delete one. There's other methods where you can delete more. All of those methods can be found in the documentation. So here, if you just go here, there's find one and delete. There's many methods you can do. But if you go back to our Atlas or cluster, we should only have one Dave now. And we do. We only have one Dave. So if you actually want to get rid of one more, you can just go ahead and run again. And there you go. And now if we refresh it, no Dave should be there. There it is. So yeah, this was the three. These were the three queries that we were planning to add in this video. Once again, not much code. It's just 3 lines of code, and most of it is repeated. Repeated in a sense, like, you know, you just go to your collection, your documentation, find the method that works for you, and then just call it. So it's pretty simple. Of course, this is the basic stuff. You can do much more complex things with it, but for the scope of this video, this was what we were trying to get at, just the basics. And I hope that it was easy for you to follow along, and I hope you had no issues with it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Catch you guys in the next one.